I'm so glad they reinforced the stage. How you doing, folks? My name is Dutch. Actually, my real name is Darren, spelled with a Y, but I go by Dutch because my real name is Darren. See, I wish my mom had given me a cool Afrocentric sounding name, you know, like Draquan or Jarquavius. Instead, she named me Darren because all she ever really wanted was a white baby. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but... See, don't you hate it when people make assumptions about you just on how you look? I know when I stepped on this stage as this big, black, middle-aged guy, I know exactly what you all were thinking. You were like, yeah, he does OnlyFans. I do yoga. Yes, I do yoga and I teach yoga. I am a yoga instructor. See, I love yoga. How many of you do yoga? I love yoga, absolutely. I mean, in fact, as an African-American man, yoga opens me up in ways that a police cavity search never could. Keeps my chakras nice and loose. So if you take my class, I guarantee you too will experience your own grand opening. Now, it's funny the names that people give their farm animals, okay? I took my wife and son down to a farm in Fredericksburg, Virginia, in this cage that had these two bunny rabbits named Peaches and Blueberry. I'm like, okay, they're naming bunny rabbits after strippers? What's up with that? Okay, then we walked by and we saw this barn that had these two enormous big black pigs. Now my 11-year-old son says, Dad, how come the pigs are black? I had to think fast on my feet. I was like, son, affirmative action. No. How many of you speak a foreign language? Okay, now I speak French. One thing I learned about French is that there are words in English and French that look the same but have completely different meanings. Let me give you an example. Okay, take the word in English, preservative, and the French word préservatif. Now, you're at a restaurant. You want to eat organic, so you ask the waiter, do you have any food without preservatives? But if I say that in French, est-ce qu'il y a des plats sans préservatifs? Well, I just asked the waiter, do you have any food without condoms? Or how about the English word exciting and its French equivalent or false friend excitant? Now, I can say that, hey, doing stand-up comedy for Alan Sidley is very exciting, but if I said that in French, c'est très excitant de faire la comédie debout pour Monsieur Alan Sidley. Well, that's like saying doing stand-up for Alan Sidley makes me horny. Yeah. You see, even the slightest pronunciation, change in pronunciation of a French word can change its whole meaning. See, in Paris, France, there's this museum called Musée de Quai Branly. The Branly Museum is pronounced Branly, not Branley. If you pronounce it Branley, it becomes the museum for touching yourself. You see, these words that look the same in English and French but have different meanings, they're called false friends. And see, this goes both ways, okay? A few years ago, the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, he was hosting the Australian Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, and his wife in Paris. And he wanted to express in English how delighted he was to have him there. So he says, Mr. Prime Minister, I just want to thank you and your delicious wife.
Yeah, baby.
Speaking of... Now, lastly, I'll just say this, folks. You know, we're living in crazy times. You know, political correctness has just gotten out of control. Wouldn't you agree? We're just too politically correct. Now we have a new acronym called BIPOC, Black and Indigenous People of Color, which is another way of saying all high-achieving Asian students still need not apply. Okay? I mean, seriously, political correctness is just going crazy. I mean, the city of Seattle, Washington had this like racial sensitivity training, and I kid you not, they were trying to train all of its white employees to undo their whiteness. I'm like, I think this is wrong. Seriously, as a black man, I do not want white people to undo their whiteness. I'm way too addicted to interracial porn. My name is Dutch Martin. I appreciate